Monty here, market analyst at IG. Quite excited because today we are going to look at stock trading with IG. Got ourselves a platform walkthrough of our stock trading account and quite a number of things though that we're going to discuss prior. And that's because a lot of you are going, well, hold on a second. In my CFD account, I already got shares there. Yes, you do. And we're going to take a look at the difference between share CFD and stock trading. We offer both accounts and we're going to take a look at the difference between them and as well as how you can utilize both at the same time. When you could use one, the other, or even both. There's also a pricing model for stock trading. We're going to do it on a timeline actually so that we can give some more examples. I always feel with examples it works best. We'll have that later on. And then we're going to be answering your frequently asked questions before going through the platform walkthrough where there are a few key differences between what we have on the stock trading account versus a CFD account. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and take a look at the difference between CFDs and stock trading. You probably noticed that when it comes to CFDs, you're not holding the underlying asset, and that means that you're trading the difference in price. So stock trading, though, you are holding the underlying asset. So when it comes to CFDs, you probably noticed that on your account, you can trade a number of financial instruments, shares, indices, FX, commodities, whereas when it comes to stock trading account, you can only trade shares and exchange traded funds. When it comes to CFDs, you probably noticed that margin and being able to use leverage. That means that, yes, it can amplify both risk and reward, and that's something you have to note. It's a double-edged sword. When it comes to stock trading, though, you're owning the underlying asset, and that means you got to pay the full value of your shares up front. Another thing about CFDs, and this is a significant one between that and stock trading, is that normally when you think about buying something or then afterwards selling it, you always think about selling something as you can only sell something that you've already bought, which means that if you're trading stocks, for example, if you got a stock trading account, that means that if you can only trade on rising prices. So if the market's going up, you buy, and then when it goes up, hopefully it goes up, and then you sell at a higher price. But what if you think markets are going to go down? Well, you can't do anything. All you can do is sell what you've already bought. You can't initiate a short position. Whereas with CFDs, you can. You can initiate a short position, you can initiate a long position, and you can actually go ahead and try and profit on the market's direction, regardless of whether it's going up or down. And that's always been a strong selling point when it comes to CFDs versus your traditional marketplace. So that's something to know about the difference between CFDs and stock trading. And it's why on a CFD account, you'll see a buy and a sell button to initiate, whereas with stock trading, there's only a sell button there if you've already bought stocks. We'll go through that later when we go through the stock trading platform. When it comes to dividends, there's a dividend adjustment with CFDs. You will receive dividends if it's a stock trading account. With CFDs, you're trading around the clock on a number of markets, whereas with stock trading, you're only trading during stock exchange opening hours. So if you're trading the share price of a company that's listed on an exchange in say Germany, then you're going to be prone to those hours only. And when it comes to shareholder privileges, there are no shareholder privileges with CFDs. Remember, you're not holding the underlying asset. When it comes to stock trading, you do receive shareholder privileges such as voting rights. One of the big items, though, is that when it comes to overnight funding charges, and that is that when it comes to CFDs, that if you're holding it, and this is especially when it's over the long term, you're probably noticing, well, hold on a second, I've got a lot of overnight funding charges. Does that exist with stock trading? And the answer is no. You're holding the asset, so that means there are no overnight funding charges. And this is a big green, if you will, big green check for those that want to hold something for the very long term. And that's kind of what it's designed for, right? You think something's going to go up over the very long term or eventually move higher. So you say, okay, I'll go ahead and hold it. I'll go ahead and buy it up in my stock trading account. Whereas if you're looking to trade the volatility, you're looking for a short to mid-term move, and therefore the CFD account is there for you. There is a custody fee. I will go through this of $30 every quarter, only if you've placed less than 3 trades in the quarter. I will go through that later on in detail when we get to the timeline. Otherwise, there are commission charges. We're talking share CFD now. You probably noticed that if you're trading FX, there's no commissions there, but there are commission charges when it comes to share CFDs, whereas the spread is the actual market spread. And when it comes to stock trading, there are also commission charges, though it is free for if you're trading US shares if you've done 50 or less trades in any given month. I will go through that later on in detail. So how exactly do you utilize both? You probably think to yourself, well, all right, fine, I got share CFD, I got stock trading. What exactly is going on, and how do I utilize both of them? Well, let's take an example here. You think that the price of Apple shares are going to move higher, so you go to your stock trading account, your IG stock trading account, and you buy up 5 shares for $140, just as an example. Now, you can only go long, remember, because it's stock trading. You have to hold the underlying asset. You can't initiate a short position. So market starts to drop, or if you're worried it might do so, especially a lot of times when we had these disappointing earnings. For example, we saw Netflix or Meta, for looking at the other FANG plus NT stocks. You've seen that they took a pretty big hit post earnings. And a lot of times investors are worried going into the event. They're going, I don't know what the results are going to be in terms of earnings. What do I do? How exactly do I do I protect my position without having to close my stock trading position? Well, this is where CFDs comes into account. What you can do is you go to your IG CFD account, and if you already have one, you'll see Apple shares there. And what you can do is you can short a certain number. Now, if you bought 5 shares, if you want to fully hedge, you can short 5 shares. But as an example here, we're going with a partial hedge. You're shorting only 2 shares at the same price at $140. You can short a portion, you can short all of it. And of course, here you're using leverage, which means that you don't have to use as much financial firepower. But as always, keep in mind with leverage that it's a double-edged sword. Moves in favor, the gains are amplified. But if it moves against, the losses can also be amplified. And of course, with CFD account, it's not necessarily used only as a hedge. I'm using it here as an example as a hedge. You could just trade the volatility, for example, without having to wait for settlement, so on and so forth. So let's take an example. Prices were at $140, and now it moved up to $150. Now you've got positions in both your stock trading and your CFD account, right? So your IG stock trading account, you got 5 shares, $10. It's from 140 to 150. That's a $10 gain. Multiplied by 5 shares, that's $50 you made there. On your CFD account, you're going to see, well, you had 2 shares, and it went from 140 to 150, so you lost $10. So that's a $20 loss. So net, instead of gaining 50, you gained 30. And you're going, well, hang on a second. I utilized both and I ended up making less. Well, the goal behind hedging or partially hedging is you want to minimize your risk, right? And the reason why is we're going to take another example. Now you're going to see why people do that. Remember, you were worried about the market starting to drop and it's surprised and it went higher and you're going, okay, great. But what if markets did go lower? And in this example, it's from 140 to 130, but sometimes you get some really big moves that can really hurt and can really sting. But in this example over here, you've got 5 shares on one side in your IG stock trading account. Prices went from 140 to 130. That's a $10 loss times 5. That's $50 you've lost. But look at the other side on the IG CFD account. You had 2 shares that were short. That was a partial hedge that you had on. Multiplied by $10 because you initiated a sell at 140 and you closed it at 130. So that means you've made money on the way down. That's the whole point of shorting, right? And that's a $20 gain. So net, instead of losing $50, you've lost 30. So when it's in the favor of your stock trading account, you're going to be making less because you've got a partial hedge on, but when it goes against, you're also going to be losing less. And that's kind of the point, right? You want to minimize your risk so you don't lose as much because you're thinking long term. Now, what about when it comes to costs? Opening a CFD account, I'll get to stock trading in just a second. Opening a CFD account, that's free. If it's inactive for 2 years and there's money in it, there would be an $18 fee on the first of every month. Otherwise, if you just say, well, I'm just going to open an account and it's at zero, I'm not looking to use a CFD account, for example, the goal is a stock trading account, that's fine. Just keep it at zero. Don't worry, there's no balance in there, so you won't lose any money there, even if it's inactive for more than 2 years. Opening a stock trading account is also free. However, as I mentioned, there's a custody fee. That's if you're holding investments at the end of the quarter. So if you only have cash, there's no fee, or if you're not holding anything in it, there's no fee at all. And also, that's if you haven't done 3 or more trades during the quarter. And I will go through that when we go through our timeline in terms of example. What about some of the more direct costs? First off, you got the spreads, the difference between the bid and the ask. On a CFD account, you can see over there, it's already highlighted in the middle of it. This is for Euro USD, the difference between the bid and the ask. And you can see it's zero point 0.6 over there at that specific time when we took the snapshot. And when it comes to stock trading, you can find it on a watch list if you add spreads, and you can go ahead and find it there. But here's the thing, spreads vary depending on market condition. But for share safety and stock trading, I want to point out that it's the real market price and the market spread. So whatever's at the market, that's what you're getting. There is no IG spread on top of it. It's just the market spread. So how exactly does IG make its money? Well, that comes on commissions, and only on share CFDs and ETFs and stock trading. Now there are no commissions, and we're talking on stock trading, on physical shares, no commissions on US shares if you've done 50 trades or less in a given month. Over 50 trades of US shares in a given month, IG does reserve the right to charge $5 per trade. I will go through that with the timeline as well. Other costs include, for example, currency conversion if it's from a different account, and I'll show you guys how you can avoid doing that. What are some of the other costs to note? I want to point out that a lot of times if you make a trade on a stock, again, we're stock trading account now, but you get some sort of there's some sort of fee or US on exchange fee or UK stamp duty reserve tax. That's from the government, from the exchanges. These aren't from IG. So I don't want you to think to yourself, oh, is this additional fees? I thought it was just going to be, I thought if I trade US shares, there won't be any fees whatsoever. If I keep it below 50 or below in any given month, these are coming from the exchange. They're coming from the government taxes and levies. It's got nothing to do with us. So don't worry about that. And I also want to point out that both client shares and cash are held in segregated accounts separate from IG Limited's assets. So let's go ahead and start a journey when it comes to, again, we haven't gotten to the stock trading platform yet. We're still on the part where we want to get a better understanding of pricing. But let's say you want to open a stock trading account with IG. When you get to your dashboard, you can see add an account. You can add a MT4 account, a stock trading account, and in this case, we're going to go ahead and select stock trading. It's with the red rectangle there, and you've got your base currency. By default, it's a dollar, but you can get a pound or euro account. So if you're looking to trade German shares primarily, maybe you can go with a euro account as your base currency. If you're looking to trade UK, you can go ahead with the pound. You can hold multiple currencies in one account. I do show you how to do that on the when we get later on to the stock trading platform walkthrough. And you can only change your base currency if you have not funded or traded the account. You can request up to two accounts. And as an example, just for this video, we're going to take dollar as our base currency. So let's go ahead and start with a timeline. Let's say that's we're going to start with the beginning of the year. You decided New Year's resolution. You're going to go in and start stock trading. It's January. You go ahead and place three trades. You buy 5 shares of Apple, buy 5 shares of Chevron, and you buy 5 shares of Caterpillar. Now it's dollar to dollar. These are U.S. companies, dollar to dollar. So there's no currency conversion fee of 0.7% that we talked about. Now 50 trades on US shares in a given month are free. So in this case, we did three trades. So because this counts as three trades, even if you're going, wait a minute, it's 15 shares. No, it's how many trades have you placed? You placed three trades. So in this case, there are no fees in that case. Let's go to February. You placed two US trades. We bought 5 shares of Apple. That's our first trade. And our second trade is we buy 5 shares of Chevron. And you can see over there the commission. This is a snapshot from the platform. Look at that. Commission zero. Why? Because in this case, we're still below 50, we're at or below 50 trades within a given month. And we also we took one German trade. We bought 5 shares of Porsche. And you can find this on our website, by the way. I will show you the link later on. But in this case, the commission per trade is either 0.1% or the minimum charge online is 10 euros. So when we take a snapshot, I've taken it from the platform. You can see there it is, a 10 euro charge. FX conversion fees do apply though, and that's because it's a dollar based account. If you click on learn more, I'm not going to go through the whole how to exchange, how to do the currency conversion in this video, but the example is there. And that's if you're using instant conversion. Once we get to the platform, we'll show you the difference. But otherwise, you can hold euro pound on a dollar-based account and avoid currency conversion fees. And then that's February passes, and all of a sudden now we're into March. Two U.S. trades. We sold one trade where we sell 10 shares of Chevron, and another trade where we sell 5 shares of Caterpillar. No fees on that because again, within March, that's less than 50 trades, right? 50 or less trades, and we placed one UK trade. We bought 400 shares of Lloyd's, which if you look over there, the minimum charge there is £8. Otherwise, it's a commission per trade of 0.1%. So if I take a snapshot from the platform, you can see right there, commission £8. So pretty straightforward stuff. End of the first quarter. Remember there was that custody fee of $30 at the end of the quarter, unless no investments, just cash in your account. Well, that's not the case. We do have investments, even though we sold our Chevron and Caterpillar. We still have shares of Apple. We got shares of Porsche as well as Lloyd's, but deal three or more times during the quarter and it gets waived. And we definitely did that. So another thing to note, by the way, if it's less than three deals, so let's say you only did two trades in a quarter, it's deducted from the custody fee. So let's say, for example, in 3 months you did two trades and you were charged $20 in commissions, just as an example, because in the case of the US, you're going, well, if it's just two trades, I'm not getting charged at all. Well, let's say you placed a German or UK trade and just as an example, it came out to $20 in commissions. The custody fee would be 30 minus 20, which is 10. So you'd only pay 10 in that case. So only if you don't place any trades in the quarter and you've got investments. So if it's just cash, you're not going to get charged at all. But if you're holding investments end of the quarter and you didn't do anything at all, there is a $30 custody fee. So what are some of these frequently asked questions? What markets do we offer? US, German, UK, Ireland shares, as well as ETFs. You can actually check on search when we get to the platform. And where do I transfer funds to? Well, we're doing this out of IG Dubai in our office in the UAE, our bank account in the UAE, Emirates MBD. You can also transfer via debit card. Will I be entitled to any dividends and how will they be reflected into my account? Yes, you can receive dividends. They're added to the equity. And what are your commission charges? I mentioned them already in the timeline. That's a link if you want to go ahead and go into details. How can I transfer my existing shares to an IG account? So let's say you have an account somewhere else and you want to transfer them. There is a stock transfer form you can fill out. But first, ensure we are offering those shares. We offer plenty of shares, but just in case, double check and make sure that we are actually offering the shares that you're planning to transfer. Will you charge me if I do not have any assets holding in my account? No, you'll not be charged. You also won't be charged the custody fee if three or more trades are made during the quarter. Can I withdraw funds as soon as I close my position? Since it's not CFD, you have to wait for settlement. So with CFD, you can withdraw right away. You close your position, you can withdraw right away because you're not holding the underlying asset. But here, you do hold the underlying asset. So you got to wait for settlement. But in the meantime, what we do offer with IG is you can trade and buy something else with those funds. So let's say you close out your investment, $1,000, And you go, well, you can either wait for settlement to withdraw the 1,000, or you can turn around though. IG does let you turn around and trade and buy something else with those funds right away. You don't have to wait for settlement to buy something else on the platform. It's only when you want to withdraw and it's a physical share, it's not a CFD, then yeah, you're going to have to wait for settlement. Would I be able to create a joint account with my wife? The answer is yes. Will my account be open locally with a Dubai office or UK? No, your account's going to be open with the IG Dubai office here in the UAE, regulated under the DIFSA and situated in the DIFC. Can I set automatic buy trades on the account as I will be transferring fixed amount monthly? We do not have this feature just yet. So for now, you will be, if you're looking to do automatic buy trades every month, you'll be placing those trades yourself. So that's about it from when it comes to the presentation. Now comes the next part, and that is the stock trading platform walkthrough. But let's say that's all done. We're fast forwarding and we're getting to the stock trading part. You've clicked on it, you're into it. Here's your workspace. Look at the side and you'll see search over here if you want to go ahead and search for the product that you want. So just as an example, we're going to type in Lloyd's. You're going to go ahead and select Lloyd's. This is the one you want to have, for example, and you want to go ahead and start trading. That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is that let's say you want to go and look through what's available in terms of product offering. Well, you notice you got shares, ETFs, investment trusts, but look at the bottom three, indices, FX, commodities. They're grayed out. You click on that, for example, let's say you want to click on gold. If you want to trade, well, that's what the CFD accounts is for, right? Your other CFD account. We're doing stock trading today, so we're not going to look at that. We're just going to go ahead and take a look for today's video. We're going to take a look at shares. A few things to notice here, which is pretty interesting. You can go ahead and filter based on the index. So let's say I want the FTSE 100 components. You got them all listed over here. Another way to do it is you could do it based on country. Select Germany as well as on sectors. So you could view all of them over here. Let's say I want to do it based on car companies in Germany, quite a few, right? And you've got them listed over here. So we're just going to go ahead and remove those filters for the time being, because what we want to do is we want to go ahead as an example, and you'll see why. I'm going to go ahead and take Lloyd's. You select it. Now you could trade from here, but if it's something you're always going to be trading, then you probably want to have it on your workspace. So every time you log in, it's always there. That's what that add to workspace button is for. And voila, it has been added to our workspace. We're just going to go ahead and expand and resize a little bit over here. You can also, by the way, expand it and minimize and so on and so forth. And the next part over here, just going to go down the list. You have what's called a watch list. So you could create a watch list. I've done this in detail when it comes to trading platform videos for the CFD accounts. I don't want to go through them significantly over here, but you can create a watch list and add products to it, and then you can add it to your workspace so that every day you can look at the other products, even if you haven't traded them, or if you have traded them and you don't want to always have a chart open for them, you just want to see what's happening. But chances are, if you've opened a position, you probably want to take a look at your positions tab, and you want to actually have that always open so you can add that to your workspace. I want to point out these shares that are here, this is done for a simulated environment, in the sense that yes, it's a live account, but we're doing this for testing and for the sake of this video. Please do not look at this and say, oh, therefore I should open or not open or sell these shares or whatever. Got nothing to do with that. So we're going to add that to the workspace, and we're going to go ahead and move it out to here, and I'm going to bring this down, just make sure it's all set. And then what you can do is, you see these three lines over here. Let's go ahead and click on that. Different columns. So I'm going to add book cost, and I'm going to go through that in a bit. You can also add profit loss in percentage terms. We do have the P&L here in red, and you also do profit loss if you want it only in dollars. Notice here, and this is one of the reasons why we were testing across different products, but you've got in pounds, you've got another one that's in dollars, you've got another in euros. If you want all that in dollars, though, if you want to see in dollar terms how much you're making or losing, you just go profit loss USD. So that's one thing you can do, but we won't have that for that example because I want to keep it organized and within this line. Book cost, by the way, interesting. You can change this. Now, this is book cost. What it really is it's the size multiplied by your opening price. So it costs you 138 pounds and 60 cents. But sometimes you're probably going, wait a minute, but I paid commissions, I paid a bunch of other stuff. So I really want the overall cost of what it really cost me. And if that, let's say you do your calculations and it comes out to, for example, 142, you could put that in, and that would change. Now the P&L is actually lower because we've put a book cost higher than what the initial opening price was. And sometimes, by the way, if you're having your shares transferred from another account into IG stock trading account, we don't know what the opening price is. We just get the number of shares, right? And when that comes in, what we do in that case is that it might come in that the book cost might come in, zero, for example. You just go ahead and input whatever cost you want to put there, so that you can end up with your platform P&L, so to speak. So with that out of the way, and you can, by the way, you can close positions here. You can, sell the positions here, assuming the market's open. So in this case, the market is closed for these two, so you can't. But you could close your positions here. But what I want to do next is I want to go through this part over here, up here. Now, if you probably notice in your CFD account, you've got deal, order, and alert. Here it's going to be deal. You can place a limit order. I'm going to go through that in a moment, but you go through your deal tab. You can also set alerts, which I've gone through in detail when it comes to the CFD account platform walkthrough. This is on it's on the IG MENA YouTube station name, and it's under the playlist platform tutorial. So I don't want to have to go through all that again, but you could set up alerts over here. You'll find that stuff in detail as well as look at the information for the product. But let's go ahead and deal because we need to start putting in trades, right? Now, I want to point out something, and here I want to add another product. Let's go ahead and add BP just as an example. Let's go ahead and add it to the workspace. I'm just going to put it up over here. Now notice that when I go to deal for BP, I can't sell. Why? Because I have no existing positions to close on this market. You go, wait a minute though. When I open up BP on my share CFD, I can press sell. Yes, because that's a CFD and you can go short. You can initiate a short position. When it comes to stock trading, you cannot initiate a short position. You can only initiate a buy position and then you can go to sell your open buy position. So I have 349 shares here open. I can sell some or all of those, but I cannot initiate a new short position. So I hope that's making sense in the sense of the difference between a stock trading and a CFD. If you do think prices are going to go down and this is in your portfolio and you want to keep these open, but you want to initiate a sell position, you'd have to go to your CFD account and initiate a sell position, whether you think Lloyd's is going down or BP or whatever, that's totally up to you. So we're going to go ahead and click a sell position, and then we want to go ahead and click a quantity. So just as an example, we're going to go ahead and sell 49, and it tells you what the percent of your account value is, a very small amount, and then you've got your order type. So do you want a market order? The first one over here, you got a fixed price quote. You request a quote from a market maker. If you accept the price, your order will be immediately filled. So let's go ahead and click that. For example, we can do a quote order, and we can go ahead and request a quote, and we got a quote. Now, this quote's going to expire in 11. We have to accept, and I'm going to accept this order. I'm going to go ahead and confirm the order, and that's it. Order received. And now all of a sudden, I've closed out 49, and I have 300 shares left. But let's go ahead and I want to do another example, and I want to sell 100 shares. And this time, the other way is, okay, what if I don't want to go request a quote? What if I want to do it at market price? Well, that's what market order's for. Request to buy or sell at the best available price because we're selling positions we've already bought. We're going to go with the market price, so that means we're selling. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and preview the order. And then notice what it says, fund settlement period is 2 to 3 days. This isn't like a CFD position because you're only trading a difference in price with a CFD account. Here, you're going to have to wait for settlement when it comes to the buying and selling of your shares. And in this case, you can confirm your order. And by the way, if you don't have to always confirm, if you just say, well, I want to hurry up, I just want, I need to get that sale in quickly, you could say, you could check this, don't show this message again. But I'm going to keep it open because, for example, we need to go through it. And I'm going to go ahead and confirm order. And there it is. We've sold another 100. And now we have 200 shares left. Now, what are the other order types? We have a limit order. And this is where the order will begin to fill at your specified price or better. So let's say I want to sell. And I'm going to go with a limit order. And as an example, this is just an example. I want to go ahead and sell at a price of 50. And then you have your expiry. Do you want this order good until the end of the trading day, at which, for example, partial fills will be booked and any remainder cancel? Do you want it to be execute and eliminate? So orders will execute to the maximum possible extent at the current price and any remainder will be canceled immediately? Or do you want good until canceled? Keep it open until you decide to cancel it. So as an example, I'm just going to say till the end of the day. I'm going to preview the order. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to put the size. So let me go ahead and put the size 50, and then I'm going to go ahead and preview the order, and then I'm going to go ahead and confirm that order. Now, this order is going to come over here, and it says day and for the end of the day, but it's not a position because it hasn't opened that position. So where do I go if I want to cancel it ahead of time? What if I don't even want to wait till the end of the day? I feel I made a mistake. Just go to orders tab over here, and you'll see it right over here. That 50, the quantity of 50 that we want to sell, and it's a limit order, limit type, and we can go ahead and delete it. So now we've deleted that order type. So that's when it comes to a limit order, and you've got a stop order. Order will begin to fill when your stop level has been met as well. That's if you want to click a stop and you go ahead and put your stop level in. So these are the four types that you're going to have. I want to go ahead and I want to pull up, let's go ahead and pull up Porsche, and I want to add it to the workspace. And I'm going to go to deal. I'm going to go to buy, and then you got the limit type, the order type, excuse me. There is no quote here. You're either buying at market order at market price, or you're doing a limit or a stop order, a limit order or stop order. But that's because that's the quote, this option, the requesting a quote, that is for UK shares only. So that's the reason why you're not seeing it on German shares, and you're not going to see it on US shares either. Excuse me, you're not going to see it on US shares either. You're going to see that on UK shares. But we've done enough selling. We're down to 200. Let's go ahead and start doing some buying. I'm going to click on the buy order over here, and the quantity of shares I'm going to go ahead and put, let's say I just want to buy one share, and I want to go ahead and buy it at market price, market order, and I look at it, I preview the order, and I think, oh, look at that, I'm good to go. I go in and confirm the order. Whoops, I made a mistake. Now, you remember on the slide I said it's got to be 90 pounds, or if it's in pounds, or $90 or 90 euros. That's what it's talking about. So let me go ahead and do that again. Confirm the order. The consideration of your order is below the minimum allowed. So let's go ahead and up that amount. Let's say we want to go with 100 and let's say we want to go with 150 shares. Total cost is going to go 1049. Confirm the order. Still below. Yes, the costs are 104, but let me go ahead and preview the order, but you'll see that consideration is far less. So let's go ahead and take it up to 200. Excuse me. We're going to take it up to 200. Let's preview the order. Now I'm above the 90, and look at that. It's gone through. I'm 200 and I'm back to 400 shares. So that, I hope that explains the buying and the selling aspect of things. And I also want to point out that FX conversion fees will apply. So for this next bit, I want to go up here and I want to take a look at balances. This is a little different than what you've seen with our CFD account. You do have that up there where you look at funds and so on and so forth. But you look over here and you've got a few more items. And by the way, you could go ahead and uncheck if you don't want them. But if you want to see them up there, you could go ahead and check. You do have the information over here, which explains each and every item. So total account value, total value of funds and positions, that's 2,790. Then after you got your total positions, and that's the value, the total investments, the value of all your positions that you have down here in terms of the positions. And then after you got your profit and loss, your P&L, that's whether if you're making, it'd be positive. If you're losing, as in our example, it'd be negative. And then after you got your funds, available to deal, and here's the crucial one, available to withdraw. You're probably looking at that and going, wait a minute, I can deal 722. I've got 722 available funds that I can trade with and make new trades, but why is it that I'm only able to withdraw 323? Well, the reason why, when we talked about settlement, it takes 2 to 3 days to settle your trades. Well, in the meantime, yes, until they've settled, you are allowed to take those funds and trade them, but you can't withdraw them until they've actually settled, which takes, again, 2 to 3 days. You got your book costs, which I already talked about, and then you got your unsettled credit and your unsettled debits. Now, unsettled, there are two things happening here. If you're buying something, it takes 2 to 3 days to settle. But so we bought 247.71 worth of shares, but it's going to take 2 to 3 days to settle. In the meantime, we can't use that and trade somewhere else, but we can take unsettled credit and we can turn around and waiting for those the stuff that we've sold, waiting for it to settle. We can turn around and we can go ahead and we can place other trades with that unsettled credit. So once again, you look at over here, and funds is a total cash balance. Available to deal is your cash minus reserve money for your buy working orders. But because we don't have any buy working orders reserved, I closed out my working orders. So therefore, available to deal is the same as funds. Available to withdraw is the funds available to withdraw. You got your book costs, which I talked about, and then your unsettled credit. Cash you receive for stock still takes 2 days to clear. These funds can be used for trading in the meantime, but not unsettled debit. Cash paid for stocks bought. So remember I bought Lloyd's? It takes 2 days to leave your account. These funds can't be withdrawn or used for trading in the meantime. And then you got reserved cash held for current working orders, including closed commission, but we don't have any of that, so we don't need to worry about that. Zero currently. So those are all the items up there. Again, the information is there if you want to go ahead and read through them. But one of the things I want to go through next is what it happens to do with your foreign currency conversion. So for this next bit, and this is under, you have to go to live accounts when it comes to your dashboard, and then after you go to currency conversion, and after you go to currency conversion, you're going to go ahead and you're going to see your account balance. You've got USD balance, but then you've got, what's happening is that we've sold shares. I've done this before. I've sold shares in euro as well as in pound, but we're just waiting for the money to settle. And once that happens, you have a choice. You can say, okay, I want to keep it in euros because you want to purchase other items in euros, for example, or I want to keep it in pounds, or I can go ahead and I can convert. So let's say I want to go ahead and I've got 300 and I want to go ahead and convert into dollars. You just go ahead and click that. You click convert to USD, and now it's been converted into USD. So now your USD balance is 720.36. Your total balance is 720.36. But don't worry, remember how we sold some shares in pounds? We're just waiting for that to be settled and to go to the account, and then you'll see a positive GBP balance, and then you can go ahead and convert to USD if you want to go ahead afterwards and trade in USD. Now this is different because our base currency account, by default, we said is going to be what? It's going to be in dollars. If it's in pounds or euros, that's going to differ. But this is the reason why we're doing conversion, and you can keep it in euros, you can keep it in pounds. For this example here, I converted the euro into dollars, and we're just waiting on the pounds to come in 2 to 3 days time, and then afterwards I can go ahead and convert to dollars. So going back to over here, I just want to go ahead and point out that when we had the funds available at 720, that was the USD as well as what we had in euros, which I then converted into dollars. So it's automatically putting that there so you know what you have funds, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to be all in dollars, unless of course you opt for an automatic conversion of your currency. But one last thing I want to point out here is that, and I'm coming back to this, going back to the dashboard and going to the live account and going through currency conversion, you might go, well, wait a minute, what if I don't want that? What if I want automatically, when the pounds come in, I want it automatically to go to dollars because my account's in dollars and I don't want to buy anything else in pounds. I just want it back in US dollars. What you can do is here you've got an option, instant currency conversion. Now, I selected it's selected manual, and that's the reason why we had to do that conversion from 300 euros into dollars. But if you don't want that, if you say no, I want it instant. So when the euros come back, or when the pounds come back from the Lloyd's trade that we did, when the pounds come back in from whatever we sold, I want it to go ahead and I want it to be instant. I want it to instantly transfer from pound to dollars. Then you won't need this conversion table. You won't need to convert from euro to dollars or from pound to dollars. It'll already be available. So make sure you have that, and then you just go ahead and save changes, of course. So if I save changes, it's going to be saved. But if it was a manual before and we just want to keep it manual, we keep it manual for this example so I can in the future show others how to go ahead and use this conversion table. Well, guys, that's it for today's stock trading video. Before I let you go, there are a few crucial things I need to point out. Our website, ig.com/a, you'll find a lot more information there. But more importantly, there's a lot of things that I didn't go through. But if you want more details about how to set up watch lists, technical analysis on the charts when it comes to timing and all that kind of stuff, time frames for the charts, you can go to our YouTube walkthrough videos. IG MENA is the name of our YouTube station, and you'll find it under the playlist Platform Tutorial. You'll find a lot of really good videos, about 5 or 6 just on the platform itself, as well as pricing, withdrawals, so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys again.